The government from yesterday implemented the odd and even vehicle number provision as a precautionary measure to combat the recent surge in COVID-19 cases. Vehicular movement on the streets of Kathmandu has been evidently far less and therefore should be considered a welcome move. And with the reports of the rising number of COVID-19 cases in the country and the lack of hospital beds, ventilators and ICUs, the onus is also on the people to take maximum precautionary measures in the fight against COVID-19. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. 6 security personnel deployed at NCP Executive Chairman Dahal's residence test positive for COVID-19 and additional 22 security staff from the CIAA also test positive. 3 more deaths due to COVID-19 reported. Death tally climbs to 66. 360 cases reported yesterday, taking the total number of cases in the country to 21,750. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa declares victory in the country's parliamentary election as his brother's party, People's Front, nears 2/3 supermajority. Final results expected today. And Wolves reached their first European quarterfinal in 48 years, defeating Olympiacos 2-1 in aggregate. Three more deaths due to COVID-19 in the country were confirmed yesterday. With this, the total number of deaths due to coronavirus has climbed to 66. A 45-year-old man from Rupani village municipality in Saptari district had died on Tuesday evening. Gajendra Narayan Singh Hospital in Rajbira, Saptari confirmed that his test came out positive for COVID-19 yesterday. The man had returned to Nepal from Malaysia 45 days ago and was admitted at the hospital due to high fever and difficulty in breathing. After his fever did not subside, the hospital referred him to BP Koirala Institute of Health Sciences in Dharan. However, he died on the way there. This was the second death registered in Saptari due to COVID-19. Likewise, a 72-year-old woman succumbed to the virus on 1st of August at Om Hospital in Chabahil, Kathmandu. She was suffering from pneumonia, high blood pressure, and a stomach-related disease. Her test came out positive only yesterday. Likewise, the test results of a 56-year-old man who died yesterday while undergoing treatment at Narayani Hospital in Birganj also came out positive. He was suffering from heart-related problems and was admitted at the hospital on Wednesday evening. Meanwhile, a total of 360 COVID-19 cases were reported in the country yesterday, taking the infection tally to 21,750. Speaking at the regular press briefing yesterday, spokesperson for the Health Ministry, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, informed that 233 individuals were discharged from various isolation centers after full recovery yesterday. With this, the total number of recoveries in the country has reached 15,389, taking the recovery rate to 70.75%. Dr. Gautam further added that a total of 6,622 tests were carried out through the PCR method, taking the total number of tests to 419,575. According to the Health Ministry, the Kathmandu Valley reported the highest 87 cases, with 76 cases alone in Kathmandu district, 10 in Lalitpur and 1 in Bhaktapur, while 41 new cases were reported in Parsa district. The ministry also informed that 9,770 individuals are in various quarantine centers, whereas 6,296 individuals are in various isolation centers across the country. 6 police personnel appointed for the security of Executive Chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Pushpakamal Dahal, tested positive for coronavirus yesterday. The 15 security personnel deployed at the residence of Nepal Communist Party Executive Chairman Dahal and his family members were diagnosed on Wednesday, out of which 6 security personnel tested positive. Nepal police informed that among the police personnel who tested positive, 4 were deployed at the main gate of Dahal's residence. 1 was a driver of the main vehicle and 1 was a cook from the kitchen staff. Meanwhile, 15 police personnel from the armed police force appointed for Chairman Dahal's security tested negative for the virus. More than 50 police personnel are appointed for Executive Chairman Dahal's security, while the movement of these security personnel now has been restricted. Likewise, an additional 22 police personnel from the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority (CIAA) have also tested positive for the virus. Earlier, 10 police personnel from the CIAA had tested positive on Tuesday. The CIAA has urged all its employees to come to work only after being tested for coronavirus. A health assistant at the surgery ward of Narayani Hospital in Birganj, along with 2 family members, also tested positive for the virus yesterday. Likewise, a woman from Birganj who was receiving treatment at Narayani Hospital and an individual working at Nepal Investment Bank at the Birganj branch also tested positive for COVID-19. Likewise, 6 workers at an industry in Dharan also tested positive. Umesh Mehta, chief of the health department of the sub-metropolitan city, informed that 6 individuals quarantined at Anfa complex tested positive for the virus. According to Mehta, among those infected yesterday, 5 are of the same family. Likewise, an additional 10 police personnel at the police headquarters have been confirmed positive for COVID-19. The Joint Secretary of the Federal Parliament has also tested positive for the virus. Among the 42 positive cases added in Parsa, 11 are from the Nepal police. Likewise, all 17 infected individuals in Ilam are from the armed police force. 19 new cases were reported in Sunsari yesterday, among which 5 are of the same family of Dharan 3. The contact tracing carried out after a beauty parlor owner was confirmed positive for coronavirus led to the detection of the virus in 3 members of a family. Likewise, 8 banks in Kapilvastu's Tauli Hawa and Kantipur were sealed after 8 employees of 3 banks tested positive for the virus. Internal Affairs and Law Minister of Province 2, Gajendra Kumar Yadav, who was tested positive for COVID-19, had reportedly met high dignitaries recently, including the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, among others. Results of a few of them, including the Prime Minister, have come out negative. However, this incident has exhibited that the country's executives and politicians who are regularly engaged in several meetings and seminars are at high risk of contamination. We have more in this report.
Internal Affairs and Law Minister of Province 2, Gyanendra Kumar Yadav, who was tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday, had met Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli on 29th of July. Several ministers and high-ranking officials, including Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa, Law Minister and heads of security forces, were present in the meeting of Coordination Committee related to the police adjustment. Following the meeting, Minister Yadav called on several high-profile political figures during his week-long stay in the capital. Speaking with Kantipur News, Minister Yadav, however, claimed that he had not developed any signs of coronavirus during his stay in the capital. Minister Yadav tested positive to the virus on Wednesday, 4 days after returning from Kathmandu, along with his driver, bodyguard and a constable of armed police force. Meanwhile, swab samples of Prime Minister Oli and some other individuals who had come in contact with Minister Yadav tested negative, according to Surya Thapa, press advisor of the Prime Minister. However, the test result of other ministers and officials is still awaited, as the incident has indicated that country's executives and politicians who are regularly engaged in several meetings and seminars are at high risk of contamination.
The COVID-19 impact has been visible in the real estate market. The Land Revenue Office states that the transactions in the sector has gone down considerably. With COVID-19 showing no signs of relenting, the real estate market is bound to witness slack transactions in the coming days. We have more in this report.
The Land Revenue Office at capital's Shabahil does not wear the usual hustle and bustle of the pre-COVID-19 days. Since the advent of the new fiscal year, only 416 transactions have been recorded in the past 3 weeks. The recorded transactions are far less than on normal days, as 632 transactions were recorded in the 20 days of the Nepalese month of Fagun, indicating a 35% fall in the transaction in the post-COVID-19 days. The other land revenue offices in the capital also wear a deserted look, as the impact of coronavirus has been well felt in the realtor market. At this time of the pandemic, there are more clients trying to sell their lands in comparison to the number of buyers. Especially people who had invested in land plotting are staring at a cash crunch due to the lack of land buyers. In the face of increasing pressure from the banks to pay the loan amount, the investors have developed a mindset to release the plotted land at reduced prices. The realtor sector has gone down across the country and not just in the capital. The impact has also been felt in the revenue collection as the government coffers suffered a 3 billion loss in the last fiscal year, mainly due to less land transaction in the last quarter of the fiscal year.
The Palpa-Butrol road section under the Siddhartha Highway witnesses landslides throughout the year, causing deaths and loss of properties. In this context, we had asked the people in Palpa what should be done to minimize the loss of lives and properties. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सुरुङ मार्ग भइदिएदेखि अत्यन्तै राम्रो हुन्थ्यो।
वर्षौंदेखि बजेट छुट्याउने तर त्यसलाई खोजी नगर्ने, त्यसलाई अनुगमन नगर्ने गर्दाखेरि त्यो बजेट कहाँ जान्छ?
झुम्सा निस्कने वैकल्पिक मार्ग त्यसलाई छिटोभन्दा छिटो व्यवस्थित गरेर अगाडि बढाउनु पर्छ।
बाइपास रोड पनि बनेको छ। बाइपास रोडबाट फेरि गाडी किन्न हिँड्न सकिरहेको छैन। यसमा केन्द्रीय बजेट भरपूर तरिकाले पारेर यसलाई चाहिँ सकेसम्म जति सक्दो छिटो फिनिसिङ लिएर आएर बाइपास रोडलाई पनि फिनिसिङ लिएर आएर हामी सुरक्षित तरिकाले हिँड्न सकौं।
बजेटमा समेत व्यवस्था भइसकेको यो निर्माणको लागि छिटोभन्दा छिटो पहल हुन चाहिँ राज्य पक्षबाट पहल हुनुपर्छ।
बजेट आइराख्छ, त्यो पनि 10औं वर्ष भइसक्यो हैन, त्यो पनि कहाँ गएको छ भएको छैन। अनि बाइपासको कुराहरू आएको छ, त्यो पनि भएको छैन।
सिद्धार्थ राजमार्गको समानान्तर हुने गरी पारिपट्टिको अर्को पाखाबाट वैकल्पिक मार्ग र बीचबीचमा पुलहरू बनाउने हो भने सबभन्दा सुगम र छोटो त्यो बाटो हुन्छ भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ।
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. Why have twins or ropeways not been abolished as per the government declaration? Your options are A, slack bureaucracy, B, lack of resources, and C, no sentiments. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.